Powered by oil and gas to a state powered by clean energy. But before we get to signing, I want to just take a step back just to recognize the power of today. Because the progress that we are about to make as a collective government, as a state, and as a country, and as a people, it doesn't just speak to the now, it speaks to the future. A future where the air is cleaner, a future where our energy grid is more resilient, a future where power is drawn from nature instead of consistently being in conflict with it. But this future isn't just cleaner and greener, it's also more prosperous. It's a future with work that is empowering. It's a future with wages that are sustainable. It's a future with wealth that is generational. We don't have to choose between building a green economy and building an equitable one. And building a competitive economy means that we can and we will do all three at the same time. And while we know that this is no small task, and this is going to require all of us to be able to work together, we're excited for the partnership. It is in that spirit that I want to thank our extraordinary leaders in the Maryland General Assembly for working with our administration to meet our energy goals and for consistently leading the charge. We want to say thank you. To Speaker Jones, to President Ferguson, all of the climate leaders in the Maryland General Assembly, all the folks who are standing with us today, this is your day. This is our day. And this is our time. We will tackle the climate change crisis head on. And we will tackle this together. We are so lucky to have a House and a Senate that understands the urgency of this moment, that understands the urgency of this crisis, and who understands there is no time to wait for Maryland to get moving. But the Maryland General Assembly also understands the incredible opportunity here, and that is to create jobs. To grow prosperity that's going to lift all boats, and that's what today's three bills are all about. The Power Act will nearly quadruple our offshore wind goals so that we can build off of the great work of our partners at Trade Point Atlantic, our partners at Ørsted, our partners at U.S. Wind, to make Maryland the offshore capital of the United States. The state legislature's bill on climate will ramp up the transition from gas-powered vehicles to electric-powered vehicles. And a bill that I authored will also bolster incentives for people and businesses to buy electric trucks and charging stations. Taken together, this legislative package will bolster supply and demand for EVs, cut emissions, and invest in a new generation of clean energy built right here in the state of Maryland. That's what a green economy looks like. That's what an inclusive economy looks like. That's what Maryland is going to look like. And it is in that spirit that I'm honored to turn the microphone and the program over to one of the great leaders in this effort, Senate President Bill Ferguson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will be brief, and thank you, Governor. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. It is an honor to be here today for this very, very momentous and important moment in time for the state of Maryland. I do want to thank my partner across the hall, incredible leader, Speaker Adrian Jones, for the work that we were able to do throughout this legislative session with the Moore-Miller administration. We had a remarkable year. You all have heard a lot. I am so incredibly thankful for the private sector partners, the labor unions, our incredible legislators who made this possible. I want to name a few of them who are here with us. The sponsors of a number of these bills. President Pro Tem Malcolm Augustine, who I believe is right behind us here, who sponsored the Clean Trucks bill. Unfortunately, could not join us today, but Senator Brian Feldman is in New York, but moved to take over a new committee and led on so many different fronts and in moving energy to a new committee, and I'm so thankful for his leadership. And he was joined as well by Senator Katie Hester, who is here behind me. A lot of times when it comes to legislation, people think that it just gets done. What it takes is committed and passionate and knowledgeable leaders to sit at the table and figure out how to get it done. And that's what these senators represented with their House counterparts, and I'm incredibly grateful. I'm going to go a bit off script very briefly because I think you've heard a lot and I just want to get to the main point. To our federal delegation, I think that Senators Van Hollen and Senators Cardin said it best. If you step back and think, since the space race, in the last 60 years, the United States has never had an industrial policy as intentional as what we are seeing with renewable energy. This is the largest investment in changing industry in the history of the United States. And it's coming. It will get done. The renewable future will be here. The question is who wins and who loses. Who loses will be those who deny its future, who don't believe that climate change is a real thing, who don't believe that we have the tools or the ability or the manpower or the financial wherewithal in order to invest to change that future. Those will be the losers. That's not where we are here in Maryland. What these three bills represent is the ability to see a vision with committed partners to say, in this state, we will win the future because we invest in what we know is coming. And that is a cleaner, greener future here in the United States and across the world, and Maryland will be at the forefront. I'm looking forward to signing and enacting these three bills and continuing to work with these incredible leaders. Thank you all. Without further ado, my great partner in this work, Speaker Adrian Jones.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And if you're a member of the House, throw your arm up. It's great to be back at Trade Point Atlantic. I'm proud to see the Baltimore region become a growing center of both labor and clean energy. I was last here to welcome U.S. Wind to Sparrows Point. It's great to be back with new initiatives to help anchor Maryland's clean energy future. I want to thank Governor Moore and Senate President Ferguson for continuing the work to make Maryland a national leader in the effort to mitigate the effects of climate change. Last year, when we passed the Climate Solution Now Act, we set aggressive goals to reduce our carbon footprint. We got a lot of questions about how the state can meet these goals. The bills we're signing today and our continued investment in clean energy will help us reach 50% clean energy over the next decade and net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2045. Expanding offshore wind and moving from gas to electric vehicles is an investment in our environmental and economic future. It will bring good paying, clean energy jobs to the state, make our air cleaner and our environment more sustainable. I'm proud of our work together to take aggressive action to reverse climate change while stimulating the state's workforce and economy. This is further proof that state leaders have a vision for our environmental future, and it's achievable. It was exciting to see these bills get passed, and I'm ready to put my signature on them. So let's get to it.
The first bill signed will be Senate Bill 781, the Power Act, sponsored by Senator Hester in partnership with Delegate Charcuterie. next bill will be Senate Bill 224, the Clean Trucks Act of 2023, sponsored by Senator Augustine. And House Bill 230, Clean Trucks Act, sponsored by Delegate Love.